Hey everybody, Beer Leaguer here with the follow-up full review of the Aycane A-Shield skate sock. A couple weeks ago I did an unboxing and first impressions video that you can find linked around somewhere here for that to go see what I initially thought. Once again, these were sent to me by Aycane, not a sponsored video. They didn't ask for anything. I think it was just kind of a, hey, we saw you made some other videos on previous socks and their shirt and stuff and sent this. So thank you, Aycane, for that. All right, so I have worn these socks now for about a dozen games in total. Some of them for back-to-back days in some of my regular league games. So they've gotten worn 4 games. They've gotten washed a bunch of times. You know, they've kind of gone through a bit of a ringer, as much as socks can in that short amount of time. And so what do I think of them? Am I still going to be using them? If they going to be my regular sock that I wear, they're going to be in the sock rotation. Talk about that now. So the quick overview here for these socks. They are a cut-resistant sock. I always like a cut-resistant sock because I'm wearing socks. Because you should wear socks with your skates, because otherwise that's gross and it's terrible for your skates. But it's one of those things of, I'm wearing socks anyways, I might as well have a little extra cut resistance. Why not? If it doesn't make it super uncomfortable, why not just have a little bit of extra protection there, just in case, a little bit of extra peace of mind. So these are cut resistant socks, and you can see they are cut resistant from like right above the heel all the way up to, they're like a mid-calf-ish, almost to your knee sock. Not quite a knee sock. I think a little bit higher than mid-calf, like upper calf, I guess you'd call them sock. And that is the cut resistant material. What they say for the cut resistance, it is a level A5 cut resistance. I have no idea what that means. I don't know. I have not tried the cut resistance. I have not tried to cut myself or cut the socks with anything. But I've seen other videos with things where they do that. I believe them that they are cut resistant. So that sounds good. I think that's a pretty good cut resistance. They're supposed to be some of the most cut resistant socks that you can get out there for hockey. So that's great. You know, that's why you got cut resistant socks. But how do they feel? How is it wearing them? Well, like I pointed out in my first impressions video, the big thing for me is right here, the transition from the cut resistant material upper to the regular sock lower. That to me is the big difference with these socks. If you look at some of the other socks that are out there, I'll show you even here, like the other Aycane Blade Pro socks that I've talked about. They are a similar profile kind of sock, you know, similar-ish size and everything. But this upper cut resistant part is much thicker. So the transition here is much more pronounced. I will also compare it here to a Bauer sock that is a cut resistant sock that, again, the upper portion is very much thicker, the cut resistant portion, than the bottom. But these, the bottom portion that actually goes on your foot is super thick. This is a very thick foot part there. These new A-Shield socks, the biggest thing that I have noticed with them is you can feel it on the outside, definitely the difference from the bottom portion to the top portion. They feel very different on the outside. But inside the sock, it really doesn't feel that different. It just kind of feels like a regular sock. I think I talked about that in the first impressions video, that putting them on felt just like putting on a regular athletic sock, and that's held very, very true. It's super easy to put these on. A lot of these other cut-resistant socks, the cut-resistant upper part is thicker, and so it's tougher to put on. For me, as someone that has kind of big feet, so I have trouble with a lot of these socks, getting them over my heel, these were super easy. These are like the easiest cut-resistant socks I've ever put on because of that, because there's not a big difference from the materials here. There's not like a very big seam that you feel inside, and that's really nice. That has been a huge thing for me. For over the summer, what that has meant for me is I can not wear socks to the rink because it's hot out, wear flip-flops, and easily just throw these on as I'm getting changed. With other socks, I usually wear them to the rink because it's a pain in the butt to put them on. I don't want to be struggling in the locker room trying to get those socks on. So that has been really nice with these. As far as comfort during the game, I do like how they feel. They do feel like a athletic sock. They actually feel a lot more, almost exactly like regular non-cut resistant skate socks. They are not super thin like a dress sock like some people like to have, but they are not super thick either. Like a lot of the cut resistant socks are pretty thick. These are not that. These feel like a regular like white tube sock almost that you're wearing. So it's a very comfortable thing to wear. It's a very comfortable feel in the skate. They do have these little design on the foot here. And I believe that that's supposed to help with kind of some of like the moisture wicking and everything. And you don't feel this. At least I don't. I don't feel this in my skates at all. I don't feel any difference there. It feels like a very just one-piece sock. So it's a very comfortable sock to wear with that. As far as kind of the moisture wicking properties, that is something they do promote on here. I don't know how wick away the moisture is on it, but I will say that they are definitely not hot. It is not a hot sock. And when I take it off, my feet are not drenched. It's been super hot and humid here the last couple of weeks. So most of me is disgustingly drenched after a game of hockey. All my gear is pretty gross. All my undergarments are, you can wring them out very easily. So I have noticed, my feet are not sweaty when I take them out of these, when I take these off. So I assume it's doing something there. I think it's helping something because it's the only part of me that's not dripping in sweat. So that's good. So I think these little kind of vent things, I think that's what they're supposed to are doing something to help out. The other thing that I like is they are stretchy enough that they stay up, but they're not constricting. That's another thing I have, having gone through a number of these different cut-resistant skate socks, is some of them, the upper part here is so thick that it's like a restricting sock. Like you can feel it's like a really tight compression sock on you. These do not feel like that. There is definitely compression to it, but doesn't feel like a compression sock. I keep going back to my like white athletic tube sock. That's kind of what it feels like. It's enough compression that it's staying in place. It stays up. It's not getting, it's not falling down during a game or anything like that. It's as much compression as I think you would want without it getting to be uncomfortable. I will be doing at some point this summer kind of a larger shootout of all the different socks. I have a couple other ones. I don't know why I've started to collect these socks, but I have. I will be doing kind of a shootout of all these goods and bads, things that I do and don't like about them. And you can kind of see from the older cut-resistant socks to these newer ones how that has changed a lot. Because the older ones were very compressive, restrictingly so compressive, and at times could be a little bit uncomfortable. And socks have gotten much better over the years, in the last just a few years that I've been getting these cut-resistant socks. Aycane, A-Shield, the new top-of-the-line cut-resistant skate sock. How's it held up? Now, if you can see here, so far it's held up great. It's gone through the wash a number of times. No kind of weird pilling on anything. No separation between these layers on the sock here. That's usually what I think you tend to see, is that's where it'll separate. The top part here is still plenty stretchy and not all stretched out. So far, like I said, I've played about a dozen or so games on it. It's been washed after every single one. And I'm not doing any special care to wash these. They're just getting washed with all my other hockey stuff. And so far, they've held up great. No issues with that whatsoever. They've doing a great job. So what socks are my go-to hockey socks that I'm wearing? It's these guys. I know, big surprise. All the nice stuff I've said about them. These are my go-to socks for every game. This is what I wear. When I went and played in the weekend tournament and had to have a couple different changes of socks, these are the ones that I wore the most. These are the main socks that I wore for games. The other ones were like the backups because I don't like wearing wet socks. And I was able to wash them if I have multiple games in a day. You can't wash them always between games. And if you're changing, you need extra pairs of socks. So these were the main ones that I wore. And unless something happens to them, I don't see them breaking down anytime soon or anything. These are going to be my main skate sock for the foreseeable future. Like I said, they are super comfortable. They are the most comfortable cut resistant sock that I think I've ever had. So that's a huge thing. And they're just a comfortable skate sock. I like kind of that athletic sock feeling. I'm not someone that likes super thin socks. I also never like the super thick socks. I like how the foot part feels in my skate. I like how this upper calf part, I like how that, I really don't feel it. I don't really notice it underneath my shin guards at all. It's there, doesn't bother me at all. So I like that because that's what I really want from most of my protection stuff, is to not notice it, really ever notice it, and just have it there just in case. And yeah, I don't notice these at all. So would I recommend these A-Shield socks to somebody if you're looking for a skate sock? If you're looking for a cut resistant skate sock, these would be my first recommendation for sure. I'd recommend these over anything else. They are a little bit expensive compared to some of the other options that are out there. I think it's totally worth it. I think it's worth the money for it, to have the peace of mind of the cut resistance and then also the comfort. I think that they are more comfortable than the Blade Pro socks. I was actually wearing these other Aycane socks previously, and I still really like these, but the upper, it's comfortable. It's really nice. It's like a two-piece upper. I like them, but these are so much easier to put on. They feel so much more like regular socks. And like I said, you don't notice it. I think it's a very good level of compression and everything. You don't notice any of this. You don't notice you're wearing the socks really, which I really like. So I would recommend these to anybody looking for a cut resistant sock. And honestly, if you were someone that was looking for, a more hockey specific sock to wear, because if you're not getting a cut resistant sock, I don't know why you'd be getting hockey socks. You can't just wear a regular athletic sock underneath your stuff. So I think if you are looking for something that is a little bit more hockey specific, which really to me only means cut resistance, I would do it. If you're someone that can afford to get a little bit of extra protection of the cut resistance, I would always opt to get that over not. Even if you're getting one of these other ones that has that, just so you have that cut resistance there, I think it's totally worth it. Just have a little extra layer of protection. Same thing I talk about if you're getting a specific base layer to wear under your hockey stuff. Get the one that has the built-in neck guard. I'm not going to go out and buy a neck guard, but I buy base layers that have the neck guard in it. It's there, just in case. I'd rather have it than not. So same kind of thing that I would say. If you're going to get socks for hockey, get something that has cut resistance. If you're able to, I think these are totally worth it because they are the most comfortable of the bunch, and so far they've held up great for me. So, yeah. Recommend it. Go check them out. It's the Aycane A-Shield skate sock. I will throw a link down in the description, the show notes, what have you, to check these guys out. Thanks to Aycane for sending these out to me. I have greatly enjoyed using them. And look forward over the summer for the skate sock shootout. Yeah, I think that's what we'll call it. That I'll go through all the different skate socks that I've used, pros and cons, what I haven't liked about them, why I've moved on from other ones, things like that, and how some of them have held up, or more importantly, have not held up over the years. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Catch you in the next one.